Basically, in life we go through a lot of challenges. We go through obstacles, we go through disappointments, frustration. Sometimes we even go through glory, we set our goals, some of them come true, some of them didn't come true, some of them better goals, better success that came. God always knows what's best for us rather than ourselves, right? And some came later. Okay, so these are all our different experiences in life. And I still remember when I approached my mentor and I asked him, when I was in some real difficult times, there was times that I was so low, that I really needed a way out, like, how do I get off this entanglement, Have you ever been in life where your life is so entangled, you just don't know what to do? Sometimes you don't even want to get up. Guys, let's be frank, we are all human beings, right? So we all go through the similar life process. Like, for example, we achieve success, we come to a stagnation sometimes. Sometimes we even fall into the pitfall, in a hole. And we are shouting so loud, nobody seems to hear us. No rope is being thrown down, no ladder. And we feel like we are drowning. How many of y'all are in this current situation right now? Okay, especially now amidst COVID-19. So much uncertainty, so many things you want to do, so many things you set out to do, so many things you plan to do. But everything is just being on hold, being so uncertain. So I remember this particular lesson that I got from my mentor. And he says this so clear, but at that point of time, I could not comprehend, I could not understand what was it, the actual meaning he was trying to say. And he told me this, he says, Gary, to solve a problem is not to solve a problem. I was like, what? Are you telling me just don't care about the problem? Are you trying to tell me to avoid? There are sometimes some people who have this characteristic of avoiding things, right? Or are you trying to tell me to just not face reality, or just to, what do you call that, blame, or just don't care about this? And no, actually what he meant was, when he says to solve a problem is not to solve the problem, he was actually meaning that the fact that you are in that problem, or I was in that problem at that point of time, was because the problem was much bigger than me. Can you see that? The fact that you are in an entanglement, you don't know what to do, you are in a hole and you can't get up, is because that situation is much bigger than you. If that situation is so small, so minute, that you are so much bigger than it, you can just squash it, just like when the sun comes, the shadow is disappeared, right? Just like, for example, if you are hungry today, if you are adult, you are hungry and you have money, not to say like you are living on the street, you have money and you are hungry, that problem is called hunger. You have a problem called hunger. What you do, you just go to a restaurant, you go to a cafe, or you have some food at home, you just cook, you solve the problem. But that is a small problem. It's not that the problem is small, it's you are bigger than the problem. But if you are a baby or you are 1-2 years old, you need to cry for help, right? Why? Because that problem, although it's very small to a lot of us, but it's very big to a baby or a 1-2 years old child. You know what I'm trying to say? So what he was actually teaching me at that point of time, which I want to share with all of y'all, is when you have a problem, when you have a challenge, when you are in a pit hole, when you are in an entanglement situation, it simply means you are smaller than that situation. Nothing wrong with you. You are still the perfect masterpiece of the Almighty God. The only thing is, you need to grow bigger than the situation. So how do you grow bigger? That is the point. That is the key. That is something that when I got that right, my whole world changed. And suddenly, the big challenges in my life become so small that I could just cross it simply and easily. It wasn't that the problem became smaller, the problem was still the same. I became bigger. I grew myself. So what you need to do, At this point of time, if you are facing a certain challenges, if you are in a rut, you are in a problematic situation now, ask yourself this: what do you need to improve yourself? What do you need to upgrade? What new skills you need to pick up? What mindset you need to change? Who are the people you need to drop, and who are the people you need to associate more? What kind of Facebook posting you need to see? Probably you need to see these videos more. You need to share this type of videos more rather than seeing more of those COVID-19 videos that is driving people crazy. I'm not saying the situation is not real or real. I'm not commenting on that right now. But I'm saying, what are you doing for yourself right now that you can be bigger than that situation you are in? Because if you are not going to grow bigger than that situation, you know what's going to happen? You will never get out of that situation. And you will be frustrated, you'll be disappointed, you'll be full of anger. Sometimes you just don't want to do anything. You don't want to get up from bed. You don't want to make that call. You don't want to get out of the house. You don't want to do anything. Why? Because that situation is bigger than you. So you need to grow yourself. And I still remember many years ago when I was talking to my mentor, he says this, he says, Gary, very simple, go and do the seemingly unrelated things that grow yourself, and you will find your challenges, your problems disappear. It's not that the problem disappear, it's that you became bigger than the problem. And I realized that if I continue to focus, you remember about this word called focus, right? If you take a magnifying glass under a hot sun like this, you put it on a paper, it burns. When you continue to look at the problem and your challenges in life, and you keep on focusing on it, guess what's going to grow bigger, the problem or you? Obviously it's the problem, right? So when the problem keeps growing bigger, how are you going to solve it? My suggestion to you, just like what my mentor told me many years ago, he says, Gary, put the problem aside. You are not avoiding it. You are just going to develop yourself. And that's what I did. So I put it aside. I went and do a lot of non-related items compared to the problem. For example, I went and read more books. I go for more walks, more exercises, build my health, build my mindset. I associate with different kind of people. I drop certain types of people that's not helping in my life. I started listening to better audios, I started changing my mindset. And after that, when I start to look back at the problem, guess what? The problem's gone. I was like, hey, I thought it was a very, very big mountain like Mount Everest. And now it's just a molehill. I can just cross it like that. Can you see what I'm trying to say? So guys, if you are in a problem right now, I have this message to send to you. Focus on you. Focus on growing yourself. Focus on changing your mindset. Focus in clearing all the clutter in your heart. I'm so blessed, me and my kids, my 4 beautiful children. This is what we do every single morning at 6 a.m. We actually wake up at 6 a.m. in the midst of this pandemic where some people are just waking up at 12, at 1 p.m. My kids, as young as 8 years old, Lenise, is waking up with me at 6 a.m. and we do something called a morning ritual. If you want to know more, what's the morning ritual, just PM in this video. I can send you a recording of that morning ritual that we go through. It's one of the best way to clear the clutter, your emotional clutter, your spiritual clutter, your mindset clutter. Okay, so that's what we do. So guys, do this kind of thing. Make sure you add some good habits in your life. If you're waking up very late in the day, wake up early. If you're reading all the nonsensical things that is creating more anxiety in you, more fear in you, the COVID-19 or economy is crashing all over the world, start putting new materials in your life. Start reading inspirational books. Start seeing videos like this. Start sharing videos like this. All right? And then your friends, people around you, if you find that 10 people in your life and 9 or 8 or 10 of them are giving you negative information. Every time you call them, they're telling you negative things, and then every time, it's very easy to know whether you are with the right company or not. When you pick up the phone or you meet them in person, at the end of the conversation, how do you feel? Do you feel much more alive, much more excited, or you feel like, oh, my battery is drained out, oh gosh, you will know. If those are sucking out the energy from your life, I can tell you how close they are to you. Please leave them. Leave them, because they're sucking out that energy from you. And those that is giving you positive momentum, you are feeling so energized when you see them, stick to them like a leech, okay? So what I'm trying to say is, start putting new habits in your life. Start changing you. Because when you start to grow yourself, when you start to change you, guess what? Your problems, your challenges, your frustration disappear. Just like the shadow has always been there. But when the sun comes out, the shadow disappears. When the sun goes away, the moon comes out, the shadows appear. Or a certain direction when you're standing and you're blocking the sun, so what's going to happen? The shadow is there. So everything is just there. But what are you doing to bring yourself out of this situation?